The idea is that the administration, following a format that they've done in other cases, takes a stake, directly purchases a stake itself, and continues to give ongoing financial support. Not in the sense or context of some kind of bailout. We're not talking about, America trying to save Intel, but basically to get it back on track. And, I think we talked about earlier in the week, right, ahead of Lip-Bu Tan, the Intel CEO's visit to the White House, that on paper, Intel is everything this administration and Trump wants. It's an American company that has been fighting for quite a long time to grow its base in America, just did a really poor job. And also in more recent times pulled back from that ambition a little bit. And so based on our reporting and what sources have told us, the administration is going to forcefully put them back towards that direction.
But how unusual is it that the US government would seek to take this kind of stake in a tech company?
Highly unusual. Again, just to reiterate, because there's a lot of discussion in Silicon Valley overnight and also just on social media this morning. This is not a bailout, right? Intel's not financially distressed. And in this country, I appreciate we're in London right now, but in America, we don't have state-backed enterprise. They've done it in the case of some raw materials and supply chains names, right? And that has been something that was well received. A heavier and more direct hand in industry that's a strategic priority for the country. But, the mechanism is unknown. I think we need to understand the sort of size and scope and numbers of that stake.
So given how unusual this is, what's been the market reaction?
Yeah, obviously shares jumped and had a nice pop and surge. Intel was, like, on paper one of the biggest beneficiaries from the CHIPS Act, right? Like their access to capital, it's not really an issue, and we've seen private market investors, credit investors, even the equity markets be like, all right, benefit of the doubt, will help you with whatever it is your strategy of the day is. But there's a difference, like capital is commoditized, and this is the president of the United States, this particular one, saying, I might have said a week ago, I think that the CEO should resign, but according to our reporting, it's now very much, we're going to help you with making America the center of chip manufacturing.
The kind of question of perception of this in Silicon Valley is very interesting to me, because surely if you're somebody who's leading a big tech company and there's an announcement like this that comes, even calling Intel, as you point out, beleaguered seems almost slightly excessive, given the fact that it is a company that of such great strength and of such massive heft in the economy. How do comments like this go down in conversations when people are thinking about how the administration is thinking about tech companies?
It's a commitment to do the thing that the administration wants, which is to re-onshore an industry that originates from Silicon Valley, right? Like, extreme ultraviolet lithography, the ASML dominates. You guys must talk about ASML all the time. It was invented as a JV between the 3 Bay Area national laboratories, and Intel financed it in the 90s. And they sold it off to a European company, and the rest is history. The thing that comes up a lot is, you guys will have discussed the big investments that TSMC and Samsung have made in America. But the strategic concern is, like, you have a Korean company, a Taiwanese company who dominate the industry. Are they really going to put their best foot forward and have the leading technologies launch in America? Or are they going to have their latest fabs in their domestic nations? Of course they are. And that's one real impetus and support for this idea. Again, this is based on anonymous sources, right? And there's no official confirmation, but I bet you the reporting's pretty good. And, it's all about national strategy, national priority and security. And in Silicon Valley right now, everyone is aligned on that. Everyone.